Nestled on a quiet leafy street in the heritage part of the old town is the Niagara-on-the-Lake Museum. Welcome to Escapes with Nigel. I'm Nigel Napier-Andrews, and today we're going to find out about its history as well as exciting plans for the future. The Niagara-on-the-Lake Museum was officially opened in 1907 with donations from the Niagara Historical Society, private collections, and artifacts from the military garrison. In the 70s, Memorial Hall was linked to the even more historic old high school building, which had seen its last students back in the 40s, to create the museum we see today. Here's Sarah Kaufman of the Niagara-on-the-Lake Museum.
We have been working in this museum for over 130 years or so, and it's about time we renovate it so that we can meet the needs of the community and the many tourists that come in here. The project overall is about $10 million. It's a massive project for our museum, of course, and we look to raise about half of that from the community. We are including an elevator and access hallways so that no Canadian can feel like they are excluded from learning about their history. The building that we're actually in right now is called Memorial Hall. It's the first purpose-built museum in Ontario. We have over 53,000 pieces in our collection. It's a massive collection for a museum of our size, but makes sense when you think about how long we've been collecting. So we're really looking forward to being able to display a lot more of our collection than we have in the past. Our collection goes back to some archaeological finds. We do have items such as our birdstone and arrowheads and such from the Indigenous groups that first settled the area. We have the Kings Point collection, which is a significant collection that shows the early Indigenous groups from thousands and thousands of years ago that settled here temporarily to use this as a fishing site during the warmer months. We have General Brock's hat. It's probably one of our most prized possessions and one of the very first artifacts that we received in 1896. The unique thing about it, of course, is that Brock never wore the hat. He ordered it on the time that he became Major General, and it arrived after he died at the Battle of Queenston Heights. I love this teapot in our 1812 display here. A lot of the locals that lived here would bury their prized possessions down in the ground because the Americans, the British, and the Indigenous were plundering a number of homes during the War of 1812. And so in order to keep their family pieces safe, they buried them down in the ground. This teapot was part of the Crooks family collection, and we didn't actually have this in our collection until 2012 when the family decided to donate it during the bicentennial of the War of 1812. I think models are a great way to talk about the past. Queen's Royal Hotel opened in 1869, and it was a tourist hotel where people would come in by ships or by train to visit. And this provides our visitors with a wonderful visual of this grand hotel that existed here and was a huge part of our tourism industry. It was located at the Queen's Royal Park. A lot of people will recognize that park because of the gazebo. It's quite an iconic place in Niagara-on-the-Lake now, very much photographed by our visitors.
Another model we have is of this amazing dock area and the terminus of the railway where the sailing club sits today.
Yes, it's a beautiful model of what that area looked like previously and what it looks like today. So you can see which of the buildings actually still exist, which is the Niagara Sailing Club clubhouse and the lighthouse that you see there. And it's a beautiful display of what the train tracks would have looked like coming in, what the dock area would have looked like with the massive Canadian steamships coming in and docking there. It was a huge part of our transportation history, and it really gives our community and our visitors a great visual of what our community looked at like down in the dock area. The question they ask me the most is this real? Are these real? And it makes me laugh always, of course, because it is real. These are all genuine artifacts that are from the time periods that we state that they are from. You know, the only things that are not are the models, of course, those were recently created, but everything is real, and it's amazing, I think, for them to come in and see these pieces up close and learn about the history of our community.
To learn more about the Niagara-on-the-Lake Museum and their expansion campaign, please check out their website. Thank you for joining me today. We'll see you next time on Escapes with Nigel.